I am one of the coordinators of the Good Food Center at Ryerson University, and the Good Food Center is an on-campus food bank and also a food advocacy group. There's been a couple things that I've really noticed from coordinating the center. One of them are we've seen a dramatic increase in the number of students who are using this service. It really broadened my ideas of who uses a campus food bank as well. We have a lot of part-time students, a lot of single parents, and a lot of racialized students and international students who are using our services. And so that's something that's really concerning for me because I think it's a reflection of who has access to education and who doesn't. About a year ago, our shelves were pretty much empty, I would say 4 days out of the week. We would have our delivery day where we would get a delivery from our parent agency, and that delivery would be wiped out. And then so about for 3 to 4 days of the week, our stocks would be pretty low, and we were always struggling to provide enough food for our members. No, I definitely not. I think campus food banks struggle with being under resourced, they struggle with being underfunded, they struggle with increasing numbers, and I think that students, their poverty is much more than what a campus food bank can tackle. I think some of the signs of poverty at Ryerson include working part-time jobs, whether that's one part-time job or multiple part-time jobs, precarious summer employment. A lot of the times our students at Ryerson struggle with finding employment, especially in Toronto. It's very competitive to find summer employment. And also the increasing number of students who are using student loan and grant programs and that debt load that they're carrying with them after graduation. So a campus hunger report is really a collection of information of who's using the campus food bank. And so it includes demographic information such as whether they're a domestic or international student, their gender. It also includes internal things like when we see peaks in service usage. And I think campus hunger reports are a really fantastic advocacy tool. They can be used to do things like lobby university administrations to really put student hunger and poverty on their plates as a concern. They can also be used to do things like lobby larger outside bodies like provincial governments who are allocating funding for post-secondary education. I think there is great potential for this to be done. A lot of campus food banks are already collecting this information, and then this information just sits in their computers and their filing cabinets, and nothing's really done with it. So I think there's an incredible amount of potential for taking this information, analyzing it, and putting it in a document that can be shared. Yeah. So last summer, I had somebody come use the food center who I hadn't seen in a while, and they were a regular user. And just through conversation, they had told me that they had had to move further away from Ryerson to secure cheaper rent because they were struggling to pay their rent. And they weren't coming to the food center because they didn't have money for transit. And so that day, that person had come to the food center because they were all out of food, and they had walked about an hour and a half in the really hot summer sun to get here. And I think that's when it really hit home to me that there's all of these stories that students aren't really sharing and they're keeping to themselves because they can be embarrassing and stigmatizing. And that's when it really hit home for me that this is such a large issue and that students are expected to have these experiences, but these experiences are totally unacceptable.